If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Hello and welcome to Hooters. I'm Radov here for WNST. In the news the past week or so, really it's all been about Penn State. On Monday, the NCAA and President Mark Emmert, they come out and they announce the sanctions for Penn State. Everyone knows what's happened with Penn State, with the Jerry Sandusky crimes, Joe Paterno, Graham Spanier, really the entire university, the hierarchy that make decisions for the university, denying the crime. So the NCAA on Monday comes out with really, really stiff penalties, $60 million fine, reducing scholarships across the board, not to mention vacating wins all the way back to 1998. So Joe Paterno, who was the all-time leader in NCAA victories, mid-2011 is now, a respectable, fourth, fifth. He's a little bit down the list now. Bobby Bowden is the all-time leader in wins for FBS. But what I wanted to talk about today is, are the penalties fair? I mean, you hear so many people at so many different outlets talking about these penalties. And to me, when you look at the NCAA the past couple of seasons, under Mark Emmert, after he took over for Miles Brand, I think he set a precedent for being very, very strict, no matter what the crime was. I mean, you take a look at USC a couple of years back. They were given a 2-year postseason ban, and that's after they gave improper benefits to Reggie Bush in football and O.J. Mayo in basketball. Then take a look at Ohio State. 5 players were given tattoos at a tattoo parlor. What does the NCAA do? 1-year postseason ban. Ohio State adds another year onto that. Wins were vacated as well. So compare illegal benefits to what Jerry Sandusky did, and then what Spanier, Paterno, and that slew of guys did. It's just mind-boggling that anyone thinks that these penalties, are too stringent. To me, I mean, the difference between USC and Ohio State and what Penn State did, it's incredible. So I look at Penn State and I say, look, I'm sorry the community got damaged to this degree. I feel really bad for the players as well, but Joe Paterno, time and again, had the opportunity, along with all these other guys at the university, to stop this, to stop Sandusky, and what did they do? They didn't even confront him. They perjured themselves over and over in front of grand juries. So I look at Penn State and say, look, you have all these penalties. Bill O'Brien's going to come in there with a new coaching staff. Whoever wants to transfer, that's fine, but let's come together as a community and keep going, because Penn State, for a better out of 60 years under Joe Paterno, was one of the most eminent institutions in the country. So I think they have the means to continue, but in my opinion, these penalties are definitely fair for crimes that the NCAA and we have not seen before. I'd also like to add that Mark Emmert and the NCAA, in imposing fines like this, imposing penalties like this, they make a statement to the college football world and really the NCAA, saying, we acknowledge that there's been more and more talk in the media in the last couple of years about the underworld of college football and how something that was so innocent and natural is now something dark and dangerous and impure. Well, I think Mark Emmert, makes a statement here saying, look, we're going to stop all of this right now. Anyone that really tries to cross us again, look at Penn State, you're going to be facing serious, serious penalties. And I'd also like to add, you look at Penn State, Joe Paterno, it started with him. He could have been the first person to say no. But Paterno, for what he did on the football field and helping the academic institution of Penn State, if I look around the country, not only in college football, but in college basketball, I think that Penn State and the role, the power Joe Paterno had, I really think that there are very few other programs where one guy can have such an influence, able to influence the AD of a university, the president of the university, and so many other guys, on and on. The only guy that really comes to mind, and I know I'm not trying to mix Sandusky with this university, is Duke and Mike Krzyzewski. He's the only name that immediately comes to mind when I say, maybe Krzyzewski has the power and the influence that Paterno did. Obviously, terrible things. Sandusky, he deserves the jail time. Penn State, they should rebound, hopefully pretty well. 4-year postseason ban, $60 million fine. A lot of wins were lost. That's all the time I got.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.